Hey! So Final Fantasy XII came out. If you play Final Fantasy and you haven't bought the game yet, shame on you. If you've never played Final Fantasy, get your ass out there and buy the game. It's amazing. My aunt, the only game she's ever played was Lion King from the Super Nintendo. And when it came out, she actually sat there for hours and played this game. She had a blast. So she was over at my house the day after I got it, and I showed it to her, and she was like, "Oh my god, it's awesome! Is that a game?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's a game." And she's like, "It looks like a movie." It was so cool. But anyways, so I forgot to reserve my game, and I called GameStop. I'm like, "Hey guys, don't laugh at me, but do you have any more copies of Final Fantasy XII?" And he's like, "Did you reserve it?" And I was like, And he's like, "Shame on you. What were you thinking?" And I'm like, "I wasn't. How could I not reserve a copy?" So he said he had a couple extra copies and he would set one aside for me. So I got in the car and I drove up and I looked around the store for a little while, see if there was anything else I wanted. And while I was looking, I found a copy on the shelf. So I went ahead and grabbed it, just in case. Sometimes people forget things. So I grabbed it, looked around the store a little more, didn't find anything else I wanted. So I got it to the counter and put it there, and he looks at me and he goes, "Did you reserve a copy?" And I was like, And he's like, "Well, then I can't give this to you. These are reserved." And I'm like, "I called. You said I could have it." And he started laughing. He's like, "I know." So he gave me my copy. He was just giving me a hard time. I'm probably the only girl that goes in that store and buys games, so yeah, poor little geek. I'm just kidding. He wasn't really a geek. But so I got my game and I bought the book too, because I like the book. I like the pictures and stuff. So I came home and I started playing it. And for any of you that know, that even kept up with it, there have been concerns for Final Fantasy XII for the battle system. I heard a lot of talk about it, and I don't really think it's that much different. I actually kind of like it better because there's no more random battles, and I hate that. I hated random battles. It was so annoying. But you can see the enemy, and if you want to fight him, then you can, and if you don't want to, you're probably going to fight him anyway because your character can't run that fast. But you have the option to run if you want to. So anyways, and then they have, the summons are called espers now, which is kind of fun, I guess. I haven't got to use one yet. But, and then they have these really awesome spells called quickenings, and I got one. And the first time I used it, I cast a spell. And I'm like, what the hell? Because when it was done, it only took off 200 damage. And I'm like, what is this? So I was frustrated because I didn't get it. I didn't know what the hell was going on. And then once I finally got it, I was in this dungeon, and as soon as you walk in, you get this little cutscene, and there's this wall demon, I think is what it's called. And one of your characters says you can fight it or run. It's up to you. So I'm like, fuck that, I'm running. So I ran. And I got through the door, and as soon as I opened up the door, there's another one, so I had to fight that one. And it's a time-based battle, which I hate those because I suck. And if it gets too close to you, or it gets too far across the bridge, you die. So I'm fighting him, and I'm freaking out because I'm only taking off, 100 damage, 200 damage tops. And this boss has over 10,000 hit points, so I'm freaking out. So I cast the quickening, and it just came to me, all at once. I'm like, all right, I get it now. So I got 6 hits off the quickening, and oh my god, it was gorgeous. The whole thing was gorgeous. But anyway, that was girly. Sorry. So anyway, so I pull the quickening off, get my 6 hits, and after the big fanfare, of the spell, it takes off over 10,000 damage. So it wiped out the boss. It was awesome. And I was like, I get up off the couch, I'm like, I did it! I got him! That motherfucker's dead! My boyfriend laughed his ass off. It was fun. So anyways, I did that. And then I went through the entire dungeon. And I'm really picky, and I don't like to, like, leave any stone unturned, so I have to look at everything. I like to go everywhere. I don't want to miss anything. So I go through the entire dungeon, rack up some good experience points, get some LP points. If you don't know what that is, I'm not going to tell you. It's a secret. Buy the game. It's fun. It's actually a license point. It's kind of cool. Way better than 10. I hated the grid. It was dumb. So anyway, so I go through the dungeon, and I complete my objective, and I get my very first Esper. Those are the summons. I changed the name. This is big, awesome looking, like, Diablo type dude. Big old bull with these, like, humongous horns and fire and stuff. So, anyway, so I get him, and I'm on my way back out of the dungeon. I'm like, yeah, I beat it. I'm going shopping, because I saved up all kinds of gills so that I could buy some new armor and weapons and spells and stuff. And I get to the very last door to go outside, and I walk through the door, and there's that goddamn wall demon that I ran from earlier. And I didn't have any magic, because, like, it's really cool, this one. Usually you have to use the ether to bring your magic points back, or you have to rest. But in this one, they slowly come back. Like, every time you hit an enemy, you get some, and then just walking around, it just replenishes itself. So that was awesome. So I was like, okay, well, I'm sure I can just stick it out until it replenishes, because it was close to being full, and you can't use your Espers or your Quickenings unless your magic's full. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll just sit here and bash him for a couple seconds, and then my magic will fill, and then I'll wipe him out. So I'm sitting there, and I'm hitting him, and my magic will not fill. And it took too long, and he squashed me, and I died. And there's no save point in the dungeon, so I lost everything I did in there. Oh, it sucked. It so sucked. So I'm like 20 hours in the game, and I just spent like probably the last like 3 hours of it wandering around, like leveling up and stuff. It's not really leveling up either. It was just, I wanted the license points for some cool stuff. So that's what I did. So now I have to go do the dungeon again, and it was huge, and it sucks. But the game is gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. So there you go. Girl's opinion on Final Fantasy. It's the shit. So that's it. Now that I've wasted all your time with my incessant, girly, stupid babbling. So, bye.